Hello, good afternoon, all. Welcome to today's online class session. This class is meant for second year students for third semester. So, the chapter which we are going to have a discussion in today's session, perhaps the everlasting task for every individual, irrespective of any profession. That is to say, a lawyer or an advocate has a different kind of terminology, and a doctor has another kind of terminology, and so on. An engineer professional also has a different kind of terminology. So, this is what we call vocabulary. So, to aggrandize or to increase our vocabulary, we should know the synonyms and antonyms. Synonyms and antonyms. So that we can choose the words according to the context, whether it is a synonym or it is a antonym. Now, before going to this chapter, first of all, we have to know something about our English language. Now, let us come to the background of English. So, we all know that the English language abounds in synonyms, and that a synonym is a word or phrase that has exactly the same, nearly the same, or similar meaning as another word or phrase in the same language. So, English as an international language, it comprises so many synonyms, right? So, a synonym, what is the meaning of synonym? Synonym is nothing but it is a word or a phrase that has exactly the same meaning or nearly the same meaning or similar meaning. Right, this is the definition of synonym. And now, I hope most of you must have wondered, but have you ever wondered why there should be two or more words referring to the same thing? So, this kind of a doubt definitely will arise in everyone's minds. Why should we use two or more words? Why shouldn't we use only one word? For example, is there any difference between buy and purchase? So, buy is a different word, purchase is a different word. So, both seems to be almost all similar, but they have they have to use in a different context. And need and require, need and require, and then next gift and present. Gift and present, then next understand and comprehend, and so on. So there are number of words in English language which seems to be similar, but they are not supposed to use unless the context is needed, right? To understand why there are so many synonyms in English language, we have to look at the following. So this is in your textbook, right? So why in English language there are number of synonyms and antonyms? Because of the background of English language, we have to go to the background of English language, right? The sources of English vocabulary. What are the sources of English vocabulary, right? Vocabulary means nothing but words. A majority of English words come from two main sources. So, the words which are possessed by English language, they came from two main sources. What are they? They are Germanic languages and Romance languages. Germanic languages and Romance languages. Romance languages means Latin based language. So, whatever the words that right now we are witnessing, we are using in English language. So most of them, majority of them, borrowed from Germanic languages or Romance languages. Romance means once again Latin based. So English is a Germanic language but has a large number of words from Latin and French languages. So here, though English is a German language, but large number of words have been borrowed from Latin, either Latin or from French languages. Right. Then next, according to some estimates, 29% of English words have a Latin origin. So some estimation that says 29% of English words have a Latin origin. That means they have borrowed or they have taken from Latin language. Another 29% have French origin. So another 29% words have been borrowed from French origin. And 26% have a Germanic origin. So 26% words have been taken or borrowed from Germanic origin. So 29% from Latin, 29% French origin, 26% from Germanic origin. Right? Words of Greek origin are 6. So from Greek, 6% words have been borrowed from Greek origin, from Greek language. And all other languages are 10. So 10% from other languages also English words have been borrowed. What this means is that sometimes the original native word as well as the new foreign word both remain in use at the same time. Right? So whatever the words that we are utilizing or we are using in our day-to-day spoken or in written, so they are not exactly the English words. So most of them have been borrowed from Latin, borrowed from Germanic, and other sources, other languages. So now let us come to the what is the exact meaning or native meaning and foreign meaning. For example, answer, Germanic. So in German, answer means response. In Latinate, ask, Germanic, inquire, Latinate. Begin, Germanic, commence, Latinate. Sorry, here some spelling mistake took place. This is not commerce, this is commence, Latinate. And big in Germanic, large in Latinate. Similarly, help, that means from in Anglo-Saxon origin, aid in Old French origin, weep in Anglo-Saxon, cry in French, forgive in Anglo-Saxon, pardon is in French. So let us go for the history of England in short. French and Latin words entered the English language because the Anglo-Saxons were invaded and ruled by the French-speaking Anglo-Normans for a few hundred years. Alright, French and Latin words entered the English language because Anglo-Saxons were invaded and ruled by the French-speaking Anglo-Normans for a few hundred years. Similarly, as Britain colonized and conducted business with other parts of the world, it adopted many words from the languages of those countries or regions. As we have discussed in earlier slide, that 29% from Latin, 29% from French, and some 6% from other languages, because as Britain colonized and conducted business all over the world. So it has adopted so many words from the languages of those countries. For instance, for example, English words such as bungalow, cot, dacoit, jungle, shampoo, bazaar. So these are all the words, either they are related with Hindi language or they are related with Urdu language, Urdu origin. That means these are the words which have been borrowed from Indian languages, right? So our Indian language also has contributed to English language. Although it is common to say that synonyms are words or phrases with the same meaning, we must appreciate the fact that words have shades of meaning and therefore one word cannot be blindly substituted by another. This is what I have told you earlier. There seems to be some extent similar with each other. But the thing is, we should use it appropriately. We cannot use the same words blindly, right? So it has to be used very carefully according to the context, according to the situation, right? So that is why it is compulsory to know what exact meaning of particular word. And also each word has a slightly different meaning. So that is why we have to be very careful, and therefore should be used as is appropriate to the context. Here weight has been given, heavy word has been given. In a light context will make it meaningless. So when we are not using an appropriate word at appropriate context, the meaning of that particular sentence will lose its originality. That means the sentence will become meaningless, right? For example, a word like beautiful has more than 20 synonyms. Beautiful is a word for which we can find almost all 20 synonyms, but they cannot all be used as substitutes. But the 20 words or 20 synonyms for beautiful cannot be used as substitutes of each other. Beautiful is generally used for women. So beautiful is an adjective. So when it comes to parts of speech, right? So it is absolutely related to woman. That means feminine gender. Whereas concerned to handsome is it is also an adjective. This is related to male gender. That means for men it is supposed to be used. And also there is one more word, that is good looking. Good looking can also be used for both. Okay, good looking can be used for both for female gender as well as male gender. Good looking can be used. And then pretty is another word. It is less than beautiful. So pretty is also seems to be similar to beautiful, but it is less than beautiful. And that is why it is used for children and young girls, right? For children, for young girls, you cannot use beautiful, but you can use pretty. Charming has more to do with manners than with looks. Charming is something different. People often, get confused over here. Charming is something which is related to manners. Then looks. Gorgeous is a rather hyperbolic term, and unless used in the right context becomes meaningless and so on. Gorgeous is a word which is hyperbolic. Hyperbolic means exaggerating, completely exaggerating term. So if it is not used in the right at the right context, the word will become meaningless. like that. Now, in your textbook, some exercises have been given to you people, right? Just have a look on that. If you have textbooks with you or notebooks with you, please try to note down all these exercises which I have done for your comfort, for your knowledge also. Now, take the example of one. Example in exercise number 1. She looked pretty in the fancy dress. This is the example that has been given in the textbook. So neither pretty is a word and delightful is the another word. Both the two words have been given in within the brackets. So the suitable word is pretty. She looked pretty in the fancy dress. So now look at the example number 1. The china cups were brightly colored and dainty. The china cups were brightly colored and daintied. Dainty means delicate. Okay. Dainty means delicate. Now, the second sentence, disappointment was writ large on his, once again, male gender, on his face. Beautiful at any cost, under any circumstances, should not be used. So, we have to use over there handsome. Disappointment was writ large on his handsome face. Now, let us come to the third sentence. The design on the hand-woven shawl, was exquisite. Exquisite, it should be, not ravishing. Ravishing means something rough. Okay. Now let us come to the fourth sentence. The celebrations were followed by a fireworks display. August is going to come. On 15th we are going to celebrate our Independence Day. So where we generally use fireworks to display. The show of that firework display is known as spectacular. Okay? Spectacular. Right. And now let us come to the fifth sentence. The sunrise at Kanyakumari is gorgeous. Okay. Now let us come to the sixth sentence. The peacock is a very showy bird. With plumage. With resplendent plumage. Resplendent should be there. Okay. And then next, seventh one, each feather of the peacock is tipped with an iridescent eye spot. Iridescent means showing luminous colors. Okay? Shimmering, in other words. Showing luminous colors from different angles. Right. Now, let us come to the eighth sentence. The handmade chocolate were two words have been given, delectable, dazzling. So, there should be delectable. Delectable means delicious, tasty, or mouth-watering. Right. This is the eighth one. And let us come to sentence number 9. The village by the sea offers shops and restaurants. Two words have been given in the bracket, alluring, admirable. Alluring should be the perfect word there. The village by the sea offers alluring shops and restaurants. Then next, the 10th one. Banaras presents a dash maze of narrow streets. Banaras presents a dash maze of narrow streets. There should be picturesque. Banaras presents a picturesque maze of narrow streets. Now, in the textbook, same exercise 2 follows. There will be some words in the box. From the words given in the box, choose the most appropriate synonyms for the words in italics. Right? So there are 10 words have been given to you people. What you have to do is you have to choose the most appropriate synonym for exercise number 2. Don't worry about that, because for your comfort, I have done it for your sake. Now, number 1, look at the sentence number 1. Dog is a faithful animal. Dog is a faithful animal. Faithful synonym is loyal. Faithful synonym is loyal. Now, let us come to the second one. The man was old. The man was old and looked frail. The man was old and looked frail. So, synonym of frail is weak. The synonym of frail is weak. Number 3, being courteous costs you nothing. So now here we have to find out the exact appropriate synonym for courteous. Appropriate synonym for courteous is polite. Okay? Courteous. Appropriate synonym is polite. Now look at the 4th sentence. The huge mansion looked empty. The huge mansion looked empty. Mansion means a big palace like, right? Looked empty. Empty means the appropriate synonym for empty is vacant. Nobody is there, right? And now look at the 5th sentence. The police ensured that the street was safe. Here we have to find out the similar synonym of safe. The similar synonym of safe is secure. The police ensured that the street was safe. Safe means the appropriate synonym is secure. And now the 6th sentence. He was bothered by loud music. He was bothered by loud music. Bothered. The appropriate synonym for bothered is annoyed. Okay. Now look at the 7th sentence. The juggler's tricks were confusing. So now here confusing similar synonym is baffling. Appropriate synonym is for confusing is baffling. Now come to the 8th sentence. The city was hit by a terrible storm. The city was hit by a terrible storm. Terrible. The appropriate synonym for terrible is awful. Awful. A-W-F-U-L. And the 9th one. A huge crowd had gathered on the momentous occasion. A huge crowd gathered on the momentous occasion. Right? The historic will be the most suitable synonym for momentous. The similar appropriate synonym for momentous is historic. And now the last one of the second exercise, 10th sentence. This is not an exhaustive list of synonyms. This is not an exhaustive. Now you have to find out the appropriate synonym for exhaustive. Exhaustive list. Exhaustive. That means the appropriate synonym for exhaustive is complete. Complete. Now let us come to the exercise number 3. So all of the exercises that have been prescribed in your textbook have done successfully. So what you have to do is just you have to note down. Right. So now let us come to the exercise number 3. In each of the following sentences, identify two words that have a similar meaning. So here some, in the sentences there are so many words, but two words are similar meaning. So what you have to do is you have to find them out. For example, the unhappy ending of the story made us all sad. The unhappy ending of the story made us all sad. Actually, I should have underlined those two words which have similar meaning, but here it is an example. That is why it is not being underlined. Unhappy and sad. So both are the similar meaning. All right. Now let us come to, this is an example. Now let us come to the first sentence of this third exercise. If I do my normal work, I will get my regular salary. If I do my normal work, I will get my regular salary. So now here similar meaning words are normal, regular. Come to the second exercise. You throw the ball to the dog and it will toss it back to you. You throw the ball to the dog and it will toss it back to you. So the similar meaning words are throw, toss. So for your comfort, I have underlined those words, throw and toss, in the second sentence. Now let us come to third sentence. You will find your way if you stay on the right path. You will find your way if you stay on the right path. Way and path are the similar meanings, same meanings. And now the fourth one. The stuntman leaped into the air. The stuntman leaped into the air and dashed over the fire. So the most similar word of leaped is jumped over the fire. So the suitable synonym of leaped is jumped. Now let us come to the fifth one. If you listen carefully, you can hear the bird's song. So this is perhaps, if I am not mistaken, the easiest one. Listen, hear. These are the two simple words which we have been, in touch in written and spoken language. So listen. The similar word of listen is hear. The sixth one. Let us come to the sixth sentence. The gloomy day was marked by dark clouds. Gloomy. The most similar synonym for gloomy meaning is dark. Okay? Gloomy, dark. And now let us come to the seventh sentence. His hourly wages are much higher than my monthly salary. His hourly wages are much higher than my monthly salary. The similar word of wages is salary. Right? Salary. Now let us come to the eighth sentence. The car's engine was noisy. The car's engine was noisy and the horn was loud. So noisy, similar meaning, similar sentence, a similar word in this sentence is loud. Eighth one. Now let us come to the ninth one. Ninth sentence. The gang of robbers disappeared into the crowd. The similar word or similar meaning synonym word, the gang, for gang is crowd. And The last one, 10th. Tread cautiously when you walk in the garden. Tread. The similar synonym for tread is walk. Alright. So this is what the synonyms chapter in vocabulary which we had successfully discussed, and now let us go for antonyms. So synonyms and antonyms. Right, now let us come to the antonyms chapter. The counterpart of a synonym is antonym. So counterpart means opposite. Opposite to synonym is nothing but it is an antonym. Antonym is a word or phrase that has the opposite meaning to another word or phrase in the same language. So that means antonym is it possesses a different kind of an opposite meaning. For example, you can understand very easily. Examples have been given here: poor and rich, poor and rich, swift and slow, swift and slow. So these are simply given some examples for antonyms. And now some exercises also have been given in your textbook. So this is exercise number 1, where we are asked to the words given in the box, choose the most appropriate antonyms for the words in italics. So there are once again 10 words have been given. So for these 10 words, what we have to do is we have to choose the most appropriate antonyms. Antonyms, once again, opposite meaning words. Right? Now let us come to the first sentence of antonyms chapter exercise. Number 1, the fabric was very smooth. The fabric was very smooth. The opposite word of smooth is, or the opposite antonym of smooth is rough. Okay? Rough. Now look at the second sentence. The dessert was awful. The dessert was awful. Dessert means here a food. Awful means wonderful. Awful opposite word, wonderful. Okay. Now look at the third sentence. Monsoon arrived late this year. Late. For late, antonym is, or opposite word is early. Early. Right? And now let us come to fourth sentence. The umpire's decision was fair. The umpire's decision was fair. So the opposite word for fair is biased. The opposite word of antonym for fair is biased. Biased means something controversial. Now let us come to the fifth sentence. His inaction shows his tacit support. Tacit is a word. For tacit, the antonym is explicit. All right. Now come to the sixth sentence. When the government changed, his position became precarious. When the government changed, his position became precarious. Precarious, the exact opposite word or the antonym is secure. Okay. Now let us come to seventh one. The teacher berated the students for their performance. The teacher berated the students for their performance. Berated means criticized. Like. So the opposite antonym or opposite word of berated is praised. Right? Praised. Eighth one. The map is very inconvenient. Inconvenient opposite word is handy. Handy. Ninth one. Big cities are becoming famous for their pollution. Big cities are becoming famous for their pollution. Now you have to find out the opposite word of famous. The opposite word of famous is notorious. Right? Come to 10th sentence. The leader expelled the new entrants. The leader expelled the new entrants. Now, for expelled, we have to find out the opposite word or antonym, that is welcomed. The appropriate antonym for expelled is welcomed. And now, after completion of first exercise, come to the second exercise. So, where in this exercise, from the words given in the box, the most appropriate antonyms for the words in italics. Now, the box has been given where we will come across with 10 words. We have to choose the appropriate antonyms for them. The words like stale, delegate, triumphs, oblivion, retreats, vain, abolished, conceal, synthetic, exotic. So these are the words in the box given. We can come across. And now that follows the sentence exercise number 2, sentence number 1. While more schools should be established, child labor should be. So now established opposite word is abolished. The child labor should be abolished. The opposite meaning or the antonym for established is abolished. Now come to the second one. When the army advances, the enemy retreats. Advances, opposite word or appropriate antonym is retreats. Now go for the third one. Only fools are vain. Wise people remain modest. So the exact antonym for vain is modest. Okay. Natural dyes are eco-friendly. Natural dyes are eco-friendly. Synthetic ones are harmful. So now natural dyes, for natural dyes we have to find out the appropriate antonym, that is synthetics, synthetic ones. Right. Let us go for fifth one. Sometimes the lazy ones prosper and the diligent ones suffer. Here lazy ones opposite antonym word is diligent. Now let us come to the sixth one. The survival rate of indigenous plants is better than that of dash ones. Indigenous, opposite word is exotic. Right. Seventh one. Many former heroes now live in oblivion, for public memory is short. So now oblivion, exact opposite for oblivion word is short. Now let us come to the eighth sentence. Statistics are often used not to reveal but to conceal the truth. Reveal, for reveal, the exact antonym is conceal. Reveal means something open. Conceal means something secret. Ninth one. Although marketed as fresh, the vegetables were pretty. Fresh opposite. Now we have to find out the antonym for fresh. Fresh opposite word is or antonym is stale. S-T-A-L-E, stale. Now the last one of antonym exercises, that is 10th sentence. Neither defeats nor dash should affect us. Neither defeats nor triumphs. So you have to find out the opposite word for defeat. Defeat means losing. The opposite word for defeat is triumph. Triumph means victories. Should affect us. So now I would like to thank you all for listening me in this session. We'll meet in the next class. Thank you very much.